My boy Charles Barkley, back in the headlines again. It seems like, I don't know, once a week now, we are talking about Charles Barkley, and it's for all the right reasons every time. If you want to see one of the major differences between the modern NBA and the real NBA of the 1990s, compare LeBron James and Charles Barkley. I'm not talking about the game on the court either. I'm talking about the mentality. LeBron James, fully woke. He's being used by corrupt political organizations looking to promote their ridiculous woke agenda. Charles Barkley, on the other hand, full of common sense. Charles Barkley has a mind of his own. He's not being used by anyone. He's not afraid to give you his unfiltered opinion on anything. People respect that. People can relate to that. I say on here all the time, modern NBA players are not relatable. And this is an example of what I'm talking about. Charles Barkley made headlines again Monday morning. He made headlines Monday morning. He was a guest on the Grant and Danny show, radio show in Washington, D.C. I had never heard of it until now. But while Charles Barkley was on their show, the topic of cancel culture came up. And Charles Barkley did not hold back. In case you didn't know, he's not a fan of cancel culture. Like you and I, he has common sense. He realizes that people are going to make mistakes, but there's no reason to end someone's career over a mistake. Just a few months ago, when Myers Leonard was caught using an anti-Semitic slur, Charles Barkley actually came to his defense. All the wokers out there, they were wanting Myers Leonard to be canceled. Charles Barkley went on the air and defended him. So while he was on the Grant and Danny show Monday morning, the topic of cancel culture came up. And here is what Charles Barkley had to say. Quote, "You can't even have fun nowadays without these jackasses trying to get you canceled and things like that. That's all we talk about behind the scenes now. Be careful of going in this direction." I'm like, yo man, we can't even have fun anymore. We've had fun all these years, and now all of a sudden, in the last year and a half, everybody is trying to get everybody fired, and it really sucks, end quote. I couldn't have said it better myself. The wokers are basically the fun police. For years, Charles Barkley did a segment on Inside the NBA about the women of San Antonio, or as he likes to call them, the big old women of San Antonio. It was a great segment, a funny segment. Charles Barkley wasn't being malicious. He wasn't attacking anyone personally. It was just all in good fun. Remember when we used to be able to do that? Have fun, joke around. Shows on television were actually funny and about entertainment and not political correctness. Remember that? The women of San Antonio, they loved Charles Barkley and they loved this segment. They had fun with it. They would actually make fun of Charles Barkley too. They'd give it to him just as good as he gave it to them. They had t-shirts made making fun of Charles Barkley anytime that TNT was in San Antonio for the playoffs. Now guess what happened? Guess what happened? Some uptight journalist, probably a feminist, maybe even someone who identifies themselves as a non-binary, quadrisexual, who the hell knows? Whoever this person was, they wrote an article on the injustices of Charles Barkley's segment on San Antonio women. Which is fine, that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. That's fine. What isn't fine is the executives over at TNT bowing to this pressure and making Charles Barkley stop this segment going forward. I don't blame the journalist. I blame the cowards at TNT. I really don't understand how these networks don't see this. If one of these television networks stood up to these damn wokers, I guarantee you, their ratings would go through the roof. People are tired of watching what they say. They're tired of people being offended. You hurt my feelings. I'm in a protected class. I don't know if I'm a man or if I'm a woman, so you're not allowed to make fun of me because I'm confused. I'm protected. Newsflash, no one gives a damn about your feelings. Charles Barkley kept going. He ended up attacking the executives at TNT. Quote, "They are coming for your head, and a lot of our bosses are cowards. I said context matters. They're like, context doesn't matter. I said that's total BS. Context always has to matter. But now, if you crack a joke the wrong way, they're like, oh, no, you crossed the line," end quote. Charles Barkley, right again. Context always matters, unless you're a woker. Then, context doesn't count, unless it fits their agenda, of course. For the last year and a half, the wokers have done everything they can to suppress free speech. That's the entire purpose of cancel culture. They want people to be afraid to speak up because they know that all it takes is one person to speak out against them, and everyone else who is thinking the same thing but is afraid to say it will get the courage to follow. That's why I said a second ago, all it would take is for one television network or one player in the NBA to speak out against the wokers, against LeBron James, and ratings would go through the roof. But this whole thing with Charles Barkley is worrisome when you think about it. If Charles Barkley, someone who has never held his tongue, has never been afraid to speak his mind, if he is being stifled by executives at TNT, then you know we have a serious problem. These major corporations, they are being graded now by a system called ESG. I've mentioned it before briefly here on the channel. These major corporations, they are given ESG scores. It's basically a credit score. But instead of judging the company on financial credit, it judges them based off of your social justice credit. Basically, are you a good social justice warrior? If a company has a low ESG score, other companies will refuse to do business with them. Banks will refuse to loan them money. Credit cards won't issue them credit. That's ESG in a nutshell. But I believe that that is the reason that these major corporations or television networks are bowing the knee to these idiot wokers. This is also the reason that a lot of these mainstream on-air personalities are quitting the major networks. Charles Barkley mentioned the other morning that he is leaving TNT in 2 years when he turns 60 years old. I would be surprised if he made it that long. I don't think Charles Barkley is happy at TNT anymore. Same with Shaq. These are two guys that have never been afraid to speak up, never been afraid to speak their minds. Inside the NBA, it used to be the best NBA pre- and post-game show. It used to be loose. It used to be fun. Now, it's okay, but it's just kind of mundane compared to what it used to be. Both Charles Barkley and Shaq, they've been muted. Their personalities have been tempered by these cowardly executives. Remember when Kenny Smith walked off the set of Inside the NBA last year? When he was standing in solidarity with NBA players. Remember that? When the players boycotted playoff games over some police shooting that 1 year later no one remembers or cares about? You remember that? I'd be willing to bet most people don't even remember why NBA players boycotted last year. One reason for that? No one was watching anyway. But when Kenny Smith walked off the set, Charles Barkley and Shaq looked at him like he had lost his damn mind. That's because he had. It was a stupid thing to do, and it accomplished absolutely nothing. The stifling of free speech, I believe, is why we are seeing a mass exodus by on-air personalities in mainstream media. Glenn Beck was one of the first to do it, about 10 years ago when he left Fox to start his own media company. How many people have we seen leave ESPN over the last 12 to 18 months? Dan Le Batard, prime example. Dan Le Batard left a few months ago because he felt executives at ESPN were shutting him up. ESPN was shutting up Dan Le Batard because he was too woke. I know that's hard to believe. Now, even though I disagree with Dan Le Batard, I still don't believe his voice should be silenced. He should be able to speak his woke voice whenever he wants. There is some good news, though. And that good news is We don't really need these mainstream media companies anymore. Because of the internet, you can make a nice living online and not have to worry about some uptight executives trying to silence you. Like I said, I would be shocked if Charles Barkley lasted another 2 years at TNT. And when he leaves the network, I hope he starts his own platform. Not only would it be entertaining, but I think that there's a lot that Charles Barkley has to say that right now, he's not being allowed to say it. All right, do you guys agree with Charles Barkley's comments about cancel culture? I know many of you have quit watching the NBA. If there was a player-led movement against LeBron James and his wokeness, would that bring you back to watching the NBA again? Would you support it? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.